Hello and welcome back to the G5 Family YouTube channel. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you're doing well. Um, I'm out on location in downtown San Carlos City, and I'm not going to tell you what's going on. We've got an event that we're preparing for, but I thought while I'm here, would do a little bit of a talking video about my thoughts on some of the things that are going on here lately. Living here in the Philippines, a developing country, there's a lot of challenges that you face, with regard to infrastructure, internet, which, by the way, none of these things are any surprise. Now, here in San Carlos, where we live, we are fortunate to have a decent infrastructure, and I'll just put it that way. But something that we're struggling with, and there seems to be no real hope for improvement anytime soon, and that is the power grid, our electric resource. And the problem is, aside from brownouts, which happen quite often, I won't say every day, but nearly every day, and sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. And then that's the non-scheduled, and then they have the scheduled brownouts, which can be, scheduled for 1 hour or 12 hours. It just depends on whatever they're doing. But the problem is, for us lately, is really none of that. I'm not really going to complain. But what's frustrating right now currently is we're getting low voltage into the house. So the Philippines is 220 volts. And on a good day, we might be getting about 202 volts. And you might ask, how do I know? Our meter has a digital readout, and it actually tells you right on the meter what the voltage output, what your kilowatt per hours is, and so on and so forth. And so I actually can monitor what our day-to-day voltage is. Now, here in the Philippines, and I'm sure other Southeast Asian countries, are AVRs, automatic voltage regulators. That's a real common thing, and I've purchased a couple already myself. I have an AVR on my computer desk, which is all of my computer gear and everything, and then one on our entertainment system, the TVs, the stereo, and all that. So, and interestingly enough, even though low voltage is coming into the house, when I look at the meter on the AVR, it shows straight up 220 volts. So somehow, I don't know how the technology works, and they're relatively inexpensive, but for the bigger appliances, such as, we have a fairly large split unit air conditioning system, and I believe I would need about a 5,000 watt AVR, and that's not terribly expensive, but also not cheap. And I'm not sure exactly how effective it will really be. Now, if it works the way the ones that I have work, then I'm golden. But I'm just not sure of that. So that's the crux of this video. I'm curious for other folks living here. Any advice you might have, your experiences, how you deal with it. I have a feeling that a lot of people just don't run the aircon. Now, the low voltage does seem to support, the other electricals throughout the house, but I'm just wondering, like the refrigerator, for instance, is it causing damage to the refrigerator? The air conditioning unit that I mentioned, it just won't run. It'll turn on, it blows, room temperature air, so the compressor is not kicking in. And then after a few minutes, it just shuts itself down. It's very frustrating. For 2 months, the house is just blazing hot. It gets up to 88, 90 degrees in the late afternoons in the house. And so, I usually start out my little talks on these kind of things by saying, I made the decision. We decided to move here, live here. So, who am I to complain about the challenges? But this video is not necessarily intended to be complaining. It's more asking you know, hey, what are you guys doing for this situation? So anyway, I'm gonna cut it off for here. Again, we're on site, we're on location in downtown San Carlos City, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.